Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
Here locally in the community, make sure y'all go check out Kneecap Body by Jeremy Jones.
That's right. It is the Lions Band Cave chat right here on Kneecap Biting with the Motor City Lions. I got my good buddy Will Vogue, 18 in here, and Donkey Kong in the chat. Super Bowl or bust. You know what I forgot
Forever.
about? You know what I forgot about this morning? It's fucking Friday. It's Fuck Your Feelings Friday, and I didn't do any memes, but I got one for you. And it has nothing to do with the North, but it's funny hell. What the? Here we go.
True.
And the best meme I saw, and this is a good one, and it has nothing about being funny. It tells the truth. Let me get rid of the ticker so we can see the whole thing. When you realize this is the last month without football for the rest of the year.
Amen, Leonardo DiCaprio.
So, the report that I saw today said that all the rookies, UDFAs, and everybody, plus a few of our main vets, has to be there because it's rookies and QBs that report as of tomorrow for the Lions. They're already there, just like the Texans have their whole team already in camp ahead of schedule because all the rookies are supposed to report this week. It's an amazing thing when you're hearing about vets that play other positions that don't have to report, show up, and actually be there. So, good evening, Dad. Good to see you. How's smoking, Dad, this evening? Longest summer ever, Orlando. We've never had this scale of expectations from the fans and everybody else. And there she is, Joelle Davis. Hello, dear. But you know what? You know what's great is in less than a week, I did the 4 draft profiles I was asked to do. And let's put their pictures up in order. We had Giovanni Manu, Sion Vaki, Mikai Wingo, and Christian Mahogany. That's in the order I did them.
Nice.
So 7 weeks, 9 more Sundays till football, I think it is, but it starts in 7 weeks because of the Hall of Fame game, right? And I forgot. I don't always watch team that suck, but when I do it, I watch the Packers.
I don't even watch them.
It was a joke.
Yep.
But you can't say anything about that because you watch the Panthers and they've sucked for a long time now.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No, I'm one of the most
You're
realistic
you're
Panther fans out
borderlining
there.
more Samoans, Polynesians. Please, I'm sold. Every single one of them seems to play great. I don't know what it is.
Something
And
about them. Yep.
and yes, he's Samoan, and he studied the Tongan religion with his tribe in the off season before he had to do the the collegiate pro day for Canada.
Mhm.
So that's what Giovanni Manu did before he came in. I don't always listen to Led Zeppelin, but when I do, so
Nice.
oh, let me re-say this sentiment one more time.
Do you want me to say it?
No, the views and opinions put out by Jeremy Baldrick Jr. do not reflect that of the Motor City, the kneecap biting with the Motor City Lions, nor smoking Jeremy B. Jeremy Baldrick Jr. says, Dad, I say fire Ben Johnson and rehire Anthony Lynn. Oh, I, I'm going to give you a request, son. Bend over, grab your ears, pull real hard, and make a loud popping noise. That is the sound of your head being pulled out of your rectum.
Yes.
Even their golfers are pretty good. Absolutely, Dad. At least Patriots and Denver considered worse than the Panthers to Vegas. Well, they are.
Hmm, I didn't
There
look at
was
that,
5
but
teams named as the worst rosters in the NFL this year, and the Panthers were not one of them.
really.
Brandon Heikkinen. Hey, how are you guys? Good to see you in here, Brandon. That's a new name. I like it. Good to see you. Congratulations. You make 469, I believe. Let me double check my numbers and see if I'm right. Ricky Sakat in the house.
Ricky. What up, Ricky? I'm doing good. I'm exhausted from
So
work, but I'm ready to
and
talk
we're
some football.
31 away from that magic number where we're going to do our memorabilia giveaway. Haven't figured
Oh
out what
yeah.
it is, but it's custom. Yes, we are at 469 subs. Thank you for subscribing, Brandon. So let me update
Yes.
the ticker.
Do you want me to give my thoughts on the camp thing?
Yeah, 100%.
So my thoughts are it shows the maturity of vets who go to camp early. It shows maturity and it shows the responsibilities and it shows to rookies and UDFAs or whatever, unproven guys to say, hey, you want to make a good early impression and show your coaches that getting to camp matters early so you can study things and work on things and yeah, it just shows maturity in general. I like it a lot personally.
100%. Um, maturity, grit, um, dedication, all of that. It shows
Mhm.
all of that to your employer when you're early. My dad raised me with a saying that I follow most of the time. If you're not early, you're late,
Exactly.
especially when it comes to work stuff. If you're not early, you're late. And James Virgin,
Exactly. And
let me get to
I
James
live
Virgin.
10 minutes from work and I always get there 15 minutes, 20 minutes early just to hang out in the back. And my friends are like, why? And I'm like, what if I got stuck in traffic?
Or catch a train, or if you got to draw a bridge in between there. I'm not saying you do, but if that goes up, you're stuck. Uh, James Virgin says the Pats resisted a full rebuild for too long when Tom 12 left. You know what hurt them? They drafted the most pro-ready quarterback in 2021 or in 2020, Mac Jones. And I said it was a mistake then. I said them drafting the most pro-ready quarterback, they're going to be able to make the playoffs and not do anything. But nobody expected the Bucks to do what they did because they even started out bad, if I remember right. Weren't they like 1-5 or 2-4?
Yeah, they were struggling early to get their chemistry moving.
I mean, they even lost to the Panthers that early that year.
Yeah, they did.
They lost to the Panthers. They lost to the Saints at New Orleans, and then they lost two more. I know they at least lost four in those. And there was that big talk: is Tom Brady and the Buccaneers even going to make the playoffs? Blah 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 blah.
Yep.
And then Tom Brady read that and he goes, "Okay, guys, fuck this shit."
Fuck this shit. We're gonna beat Mahomes in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and that's pretty much what they did for
Yep.
his seventh ring.
They
And yes,
beat the Packers in the NFC Championship, if I'm not wrong, right?
yes, they did in their house.
And it was was it snowing? I forget.
It was
Wasn't
just
it
really
like
cold.
bad
It was
weather?
just really cold. They had a weird warm up then, and the snow was gone. But welcome to the channel, Brandon Heikkinen. But Brodric Martin, I read a report from Tim 20 Man, and he's saying Brodric Martin is going to have an expanded role. I think he's actually going to be the DT3 this year, according to what I'm reading. If that pans out after preseason and nobody jumps him as far as talent wise or how they play. So it's looking like Brodric Martin is turning into what we wanted him to be as a rookie, but he couldn't be because he was led by a guy that was disgruntled with AG already in Isaiah Buggs. And God knows Benito Jones couldn't lead a horse to water to try and let him drink. Randall Cobb retired. Do I see him as a Hall of Fame player? He was a part of a Super Bowl team. As much as I hate to say it, guys with one ring for some reason get in with what he has, what, top 50 stats as a wide receiver? Or is he in the top 25? I
Not
know he's
sure.
up there. He's in that
Yeah,
range, somewhere in there. I think it's not more than 25, so it has to be the top 50.
I think
I'll
it's
look later and we'll go over it and we'll talk about it in on the NFC North and East review on Sunday night at 9 p.m. My 2-hour show that just started last weekend, and it was a
Ooh.
rousing success. We had a lot of fun.
The thing about Broderick Martin. I love it. What I've heard from you and reports is he did a complete body transformation because he even came out, I'm pretty sure, and said, I wasn't ready in 2023. I'm ready now. And there's a video of him slimmed up, toned up, pushing a big heavy sled. Yeah, I love seeing guys like him and the other Lions and players in general do a complete body transformation and say, hey, I'm not here to mess around this season. I'm here to earn that job and take that job and be on this roster.
Right.
And what he did was a complete body transformation, and he absolutely is turning a lot of heads.
Well, he shed 25 to 30 pounds. He also lost, what was it, 65 to 70% of his body fat. So
Yep.
last year, somebody in his family has a lawn care company is all I can think of, because he had one of those shorter trailers and it had like one of those little regular riders with the steering wheel with like a 32
Mm.
inch or a 40-inch cut. And it was a smaller one, like an 8-footer. But what's amazing is they got like this big pond. I think it's like 25 or 50 acres. What he would do is pull that trailer all the way around the pond. This year,
Dedication, man.
this year, because of the added strength and everything he's doing, it's a 14-foot trailer with a 42-inch cut zero-turn mower, which weighs a lot more than your average ride-on lawnmower. And so he's pulling that around that same pond. Well, the
I
Hall of
agree.
Fame, James Burgess, you're actually the extra games pad stats, but at the same time, Randall Cobb never played 17 games in a season because he was hurt a few games every year the last few years that he played. So
Yep.
if you look at it, you can say it padded his stats, but I think it's more the longevity padded his stats. The last 5 years, he hasn't had a healthy season. So James Burgess says, I would not vote him for the Hall of Fame, being objective. He is very good, but not Hall of very good. That's the problem. It is the Hall of Very Good anymore. Very good players are getting in with mediocre state. If it's not too much to ask, can I hear Will say, "Hey, Biff, you get your damn hands off her"?
Do I have to?
Yeah.
Hey, Biff, you get your damn hands off her.
Okay. Yeah, you can't do it. You know what that's from, right?
Isn't that Michael J. Fox?
Back to the Future. It's the
Yeah.
dad, George McFly, at the Enchantment Under the Sea dance that he played Johnny B. Good in, and he caught Biff trying to molest his then future wife, and he goes, "Hey, Biff, you get your damn hands off her," and he doubled up and just whacked him one and knocked him out cold.
Sorry if I failed you, but I'm here for football talk.
I know, but there's little things that we can do to make the fans happy. I mean, I try
Oh
it.
yeah. Oh yeah. I'm the worst at dog checks.
All you gotta do is a woof.
I
Now,
did one. I did. I
you
did
did,
one the other day. It actually sounded good.
and the other thing I wanted to talk about,
Oh, thank you.
you
Appreciate
did
it.
great, Will. Thank you, LOL.
Thank you, Paul.
The Amazing Dan Campbell. Did you guys see the report on Sports Illustrated? I know Will brought it to the chat's attention. Crispin Glover for sure.
Oh,
But anyways,
it's
I say the amazing, and I did the hyphenated around the word maze. Um, in Williamston, Michigan, there's a corn maze, and it's a picture of Dan Campbell that was taken by an area photograph, and it says "One Pride and Go Lions" on the other side of the head as a corn maze. This is amazing. I want to see it. Um, I can actually show the picture. I believe I loaded it in. Yes,
even
here
need
it
a
is.
helicopter, probably.
There it is. It was probably. It looks like if I'm. It's from a drone. It's a drone
Yeah.
picture
Oh yeah.
because that looks like the legs of the drone.
That is so awesome. That is beautiful.
What do you guys think about this? Come on, isn't this badass? I mean,
Dude, that probably took so much time and so much like measuring of, oh, this goes here and this is the way this should be. Oh my gosh, the math behind it. But turned out great. I
space
love it.
aliens for sure from James Burgess.
I wouldn't be surprised. No, I love how it's Dan Campbell's head in a lion with a
In a
lion
lion's
mane.
mane, yeah, it was cool. Uh,
I was like,
that
very cool.
that's an amazing photo. I'm sorry, whoever got the picture of that in Williamston, Michigan. I'm thinking I'm gonna have to go do that maze this fall once the corn
Just
season.
run around and do a live. Hey guys, I'm the Dan Campbell.
No, because they wouldn't know where I am because I'm just gonna be standing in a bunch of corn by their
I
angle.
think that's Dan Campbell's new home.
Egyptians did that. I'm
Yes.
way too
Yeah.
lazy for that, says Orlando. And James Burgess, you're absolutely right. That took some serious planning. Those corn
I
mazes, they are
go
amazing
ahead.
already, the fact of what they do. Because sometimes they mimic it after mazes that you've seen, like in the crossword puzzle books and stuff like that.
Hmm.
But to go ahead and do something like this, I know we've seen the Incan Sun natural grass formation. Yeah, Dan Campbell bought the property and it just showed up.
It's funny because many years ago, when I was out of high school, I worked for a grocery store, and one of our team building activities was at night. We went to a corn maze, and it was a scavenger hunt. And you had to find stuff in the corn maze. Oh my God, it's almost impossible.
So I can't wait to see what Brodric Martin does this preseason.
Oh,
And it is confirmed. Trace has a ticket for me. I will be at training camp on Sunday, August 11th.
Yes.
So when we go live that night, I will have a report from Allen Park for you.
Will you be able to do like media stuff or no?
They always do meet and greets after, and if I get there in time to meet some of them, fantastic, great, I'll do it.
You need a new intro because that guy's not on the team anymore.
I know. I need a new shout out. The shout out is there. It's just clipped in. It can be changed. But I actually met him in person, and he did it. I even offered to pay him, and he goes, "Nah, you don't have to. You're cool."
That's awesome. That's awesome. My
You know,
friend Kevin, who you met on my channel, he met Glenn Hubbard, who played for the Braves. He did a little intro for him.
that's cool. Internet killed crop circles conspiracies. Yes and no. There's still some. I was talking about corn mazes, not crop circles, by the way. That's not a crop circle. It's a corn maze that you can walk through that they'll be charging admission to for this fall. And I'm thinking I want to go there. I want to go through the Dan Campbell corn maze.
That'd be so much fun.
Who wants to make that a trip one Sunday before the season starts in the next few weeks?
I would be down if I lived in Michigan.
I'm asking the guys in the chat that live in Michigan, who's willing to go to Williamston, Michigan, and meet up with me?
How far is that from you? Quite a bit of
I
ways.
don't know. I haven't even looked. Didn't care. I just saw the report tonight.
I hope Dan responds to that in the media. So, what do you think about this?
It's off of 96. The population there is 3,819. I'd hip to go check it out. Cool. Or Orlando Escribano. I still want to believe. Yes, he lives in North Carolina, near Charlotte, right?
In Charlotte,
You're in Charlotte. That's right.
20 minutes from Panther Stadium.
So
25.
it is just east of Lansing, so it's about an hour away, maybe an
Worth
hour and
it.
a half. See, yeah, I'm going.
Yes, I do, Orlando. Lived here twice in my life.
I'm 100% down for this travel experience.
That would be fun.
So James, when I get the date ready, it won't be the 11th. We know this. It'll probably be either the week before or the week after, is what I'm thinking. So either August 4th or August 18th.
Very nice.
We can do that and then go get a beer.
And I want to get a beer with you when you come here.
Eventually. It didn't
Or
work.
I come there eventually because my uncles played hockey at U of M.
I just hate that I came up with 3 good topics and we burned through them in 23 minutes because we didn't have our normal plethora of fans. Estrella is busy taking care of some business with his podcast. He had some production meetings and stuff to go.
Yes, it is Orlando. It is beautiful.
All right, that's after me exam. So if my licensing goes well, I'm in. Great, James Burgess. Hey, and guess what? If your licensing doesn't go well, I'll buy.
And that's a guarantee. Yeah, Charlotte's awesome, Orlando. Very pretty.
Because you know what? I'm all about meeting people. Ralph Williams, our resident Pittsburgh Steelers guy. I will be on his show, The External Bum, and I will air it on our channel at 9 a.m. tomorrow.
Very nice.
I'm trying to come up with a new bum of the week.
Hmm. I'll help you think of one.
Not gonna lie, I drove around the city yelling out, "Keep pounding" to random strangers who looked homeless. My wife was not amused.
Agree.
That's fantastic. Oh, that's mean, but I love it. Sounds like
The
something I
real
do.
meaning behind keep
Something I do
bounding is
between Green Bay
beautiful,
and
though.
Appleton, Wisconsin. Sounds like something I do.
Yeah, I love the real meaning of keep pounding because I have a wristband. The meaning behind it is beautiful, actually.
So I'm quite sure you got some great topics for us tomorrow. And Buddy Conquito enters the chat again. I just love that name, Buddy Conquito.
He's your buddy. His Kinkiko. It's Buddy Kinkiko.
Conquito with a T.
Okay, my bad.
They got to keep pounding that figure in that town. I was laughing so hard.
They do. They do. Even our players on the neck of their collar of the jersey says "keep pounding." I have a wristband that says it.
There's even a billboard on the side of the whorehouse that says "keep pounding."
I wouldn't be surprised.
I couldn't help it.
Yeah, Sam. Rest in peace, Sam Mills. That guy was awesome.
So there's that music. I am happy to see you here, buddy. In doing my research, looking at the Wednesday roundup, looking at the signings around. Gay. Hey, the book definition of the word gay is happy. The slang is the bad stuff. So it
What were you
depends.
saying, Jeremy? I'm sorry.
So I was looking up like injury reports, pup lists, and stuff like that because that was when they talked about the Caleb signing and the Roma Dunze signing, and they talked about everything going on. Green Bay got hit with a lot of injuries this past week.
Wow.
Both starting tackles are on the pup list going into camp. Zach Tom and Donovan Jenkins.
They're screwed.
Their wide receiver 4 or 5, I think he is, Ashton Magoo, or however you say it.
Mr. Magoo.
Don, we now are gay apparel. La 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 la. I couldn't help it.
Oh, dude.
I'm bad. I'm bad. I shouldn't act like that. I wonder if that's Caleb's theme song when he gets dressed in the morning.
It probably is. I wouldn't be surprised. And then when the Bears enter the locker room, whether they win or lose, it goes, the Bears still suck. The Bears still suck.
Awful. I know it's a real
I
song.
hate the Bears.
I know you do.
Jerks.
But anyways, what was I talking about? Because I was trying to get through it.
The Packers pup list. You said they had a lot
And
of
then
injuries.
Keaton Oladipo, their who was supposed to be their third or fourth safety on the depth chart because they drafted him earlier. I think it was day 2 in the draft. He injured his elbow playing beach volleyball.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Oh my god. It reminds me.
So
I just
he's
hate
on
when
the
players
non-football
go.
related injury list.
I hate those. Those are so annoying, especially when it happens to your team. Because I'm a UConn women's basketball fan, and when I heard Paige Beckers got hurt in a pickup game, I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
But you know what? A pickup game is at least working on your craft.
Yep,
That's all
true,
I got to say. So
true.
I understand a pickup basketball game and getting hurt because if you're not practicing with your team and you're not doing this, you're keeping your skills sharp on the court. Stuff is going to happen.
Very true.
As a matter of fact, if you look at it, there's more career-ending injuries in basketball and soccer than there is in football and hockey. Do
I
you know
didn't
why?
know.
Because of the pads.
Very
Those
true.
sports. Beach volleyball, seriously, I'd put a ban clause on that in every contract. Amen. But this morning it was the longest, most boring show because it was the Caleb is a brilliant businessman hour-long show just before my show this morning on Ken and Ken in the Morning. Because Ken Dobie decided to consistently ask the same question over and over that was answered 8 times. Caleb tried to have his contract paid out to an LLC that he was going to create to not pay personal income tax in California and be able to keep his residency and go from that 33 to 40%
Yep.
income after the jock tax down to a 15 plus the jock tax. Life happens. Worse is still Joel Zamaya playing Guitar Hero and injuring his. Yes.
You know what the worst one I've heard in another sport is, though, Jeremy?
What's that?
This may be like controversial. Someone got hurt zipping up their pants for baseball.
As a young child, and I go back a long ways, James and some of our older guys out there, you might remember when you were 5 and under, the big onesie pajamas that zip from your ankle all the way up to your neck. I sympathize with somebody that zips their junk in their zipper, is all I have to say.
Oh God.
And
Oh,
it's anytime you hurt Big Zeke and the twins, or the Twig and Berries, whatever you want to call them.
it's painful.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
Mm. I don't even want to start talking about being 12 years old and being impaled.
I don't want to talk about when I was like high school because I was dumb.
James Burgess goes, I sure do. The something about Mary injury. Yes. The beans before the Franks, that's something about Mary stuff. How'd you get the bean before the Frank?
There have been some really bizarre injuries. I forgot I was watching NFL
What
Network
about
or
the
something
guy
on
that broke
YouTube,
his
like
arm
the
riding a
funniest.
jet ski a couple years back?
Who?
Remember that? There was a football player that broke his arm riding a jet ski in the offseason.
There was.
He came
Can't
off.
remember who.
It was a running back, wasn't it?
I do
It was
believe
like
so.
a second string running back. Somebody that was supposed to be like the 1A, 1B for a team, and he ended up breaking his arm. Poor Ben Stiller.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
Uh, because when we were kids, we thought, hey, look, this zips all the way up. We don't have to wear underwear. Dumbass.
Wrong. I'm trying to think. There's been some other weird ones.
Wasn't it Zach Moss?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, and no relation to Randy Moss, because Thaddeus Moss is Randy Moss's son.
Yep.
It might be a cousin or something, but I mean, no, like, direct lineage type thing.
I
Pitcher high
found
on
out.
coke in
Oh,
Miami, the
go on.
speedboat. Who was that? Oh my God. Well, it wasn't just a pitcher on that speedboat in Miami. Wasn't it also like half of the Vikings roster that year? Ken Stabler broke a toe kicking a pinball machine back in the 70s. Wow. Talk about going on tilt.
So I just looked up a really weird one. Jeremy. Martin Gramatica was celebrating a game-winning field goal, and he jumped up and down in the air, tore his ACL.
Yes. Yes. Because it was a game winning field goal and it cost him the rest of the season. And I don't think he ever came back from that injury, if I remember right.
I don't believe so.
I mean, and then look, Jamie Collins that was playing for Detroit that was so happy. He was excited and hit a ref and got a penalty.
Yeah,
He was celebrating.
Luke Kuechly
Who was the guy?
tapped the ref's shoulder once and got ejected. He had a question. They said, "You're gone," and he's like, "What do you mean? I had a question about the play."
Oh yeah, I remember that. I can't remember his name. It was a few like
Jose Fernandez.
is that the pitcher who died on the boat? Yep.
Yeah, he was young. He was only getting better and better. Yeah, Miami Marlins.
I remember Grammatica injury. Also, Gus Barat, the self-concussing QB.
Yep.
Oh, I watched I watched the Tom Brady roast again, and I forgot about something that Kevin Hart said in the beginning of it. And he goes, "Hey y'all, Tom Brady's now living his best life now that he's single and retired. because he's been bucking. He goes, I bet his dick got CTE.
That's so funny.
You haven't seen it yet, Will?
No,
You gotta see it. It's on Netflix
I
still.
know. You know what the craziest injury I've seen lately, and it's on the football field, is this past Super Bowl when what's his name tried to run onto the field for the Fortnite Bowman? No, not Navarro Bowman. Who was the one who got hurt? He was like lined up and he was ready to take the field and then boom, hurt. Let me look.
Stephen Tulloch sack celebration. Yes. James Mercy goes, LOL, plus one, just SJB. Yes. The Stephen Tulloch.
So I just looked it up, the injury. It was Dre Greenlaw who was trying to run onto the fields. And I think he like misplaced his foot in the Super Bowl. Jeremy, I just read one. I didn't know this. Nate Burleson was driving his car and a pizza was falling and he reached for it and it broke his arm when he was with the Lions.
I'm sorry, I'm replying to somebody. Oh, one of my friends, he just got
Do you
rode over
remember that one?
walking off of work on his day off.
Hmm.
Now, what was that?
The Nate Burleson where the pizza was falling in his passenger seat.
Yep, and hurt his arm. Yeah, I remember that. It basically ended up being a career ender. Worst I've ever seen live in order. Number
Ugh.
one, Joe Theismann when LT shattered his leg. Willis McGahee and Nick Chubb. I remember Joe Theismann and I remember Nick Chubb because I was watching that Monday Night Football game. As a matter of fact, I think I was doing my live on the couch and I had the game muted and we were all talking about it live.
I
And
think
then
we were, yeah.
there was the Monday night a couple seasons ago when Damar Hamlin died
Mhm.
while we were talking in this very show.
And we had to end early, didn't we end early?
Yeah, because we just couldn't go on.
Yeah.
It was not a good night to continue talking. It was prayers up type stuff. Watch the news and make sure he survives.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of another one. Yeah,
Weren't you watching that Monday night with us, James Burgess? Because I was live from a hotel when it happened. Orlando Escobar. Worse was Clint Marlachuk, Sabres goalie, when his jugular vein cut open, and they
oh,
hadn't had a surgeon caliber med guy on staff. Um, and didn't somebody try to do the same thing to Grant Fuhrer because they skated across his throat? That's why
yeah,
he had
some guy got,
the
yeah,
first guy.
cut.
Didn't even look like such a bad hit. Just perfect placing and time. Yep. And James Burgess says, I was indeed. It's amazing how much stuff while we've been live and we've been able to break stuff before it even hit Twitter, Instagram, and stuff. Where I'm like, "Hey guys, guess what?" And we're like, "You're right, no," and I'm like, "Yep, look," and then it happens, and then the news breaks, and everybody's like, "How do you do that?"
Yeah, oh God. It's crazy the similarities with the Alex Smith and Joe Theismann, where it happened, the time, the opponent.
And both they were spiral fractures. Yeah, uncanny how much it was alike. Yeah, that was bizarre.
I saw a guy when I went to a college basketball game for the college I used to work at. The guy was shuffling back on defense, like you know how you run backwards, falls, and you just hear him scream. And I'm like, my friend's like, "What do you think it is?" I'm like, "Bet you, unfortunately, it's a torn Achilles."
The backpedaling could be three things. It's either the Achilles, the MCL, or the PCL, not the ACL. The ACL is when you're turning out and your knee just buckles. But the MCL and the PCL is what you do when you're turning while backpedaling.
Mhm.
Those are the ligaments that are more controlled in that. Uh, it's crazy the type of stuff, injuries you can get. Hell, I can sleep wrong and wake up because I never had my torn rotator cuff fixed, and I won't be able to move my shoulder for like 10 minutes because it sticks however I'm laying, like if I'm propped up with the arm
Mhm.
under the pillow or whatever.
Yeah, I was home in Charlotte, and I get a call from Germany months ago from my mom. She's like, "Your dad's in the hospital." I'm like, "What do you mean?" I said, she's like, "He was biking and he took a wrong turn. And when he came home, he was in the whole like body cheese thing. Man, I saw his arm. It was like black and blue right here, and it was shattered."
Oh, wow.
My dad's 63.
Watching pitchers' arms blow out is pretty nasty too. I was living in Tampa the year that pitcher snapped his arm throwing a fastball. Remember that guy? He was one of the first ones that they were saying that if he stays healthy, he could break. No, he was a rookie at the time. He might break Nolan Ryan's speed record for a pitch, and the slow motion makes it look so bad. Yes, it does.
Yeah, it does.
But when you're live in that stadium, and that's a dome stadium, so everything echoes. Everything loud echoes. It literally sounded like either somebody fired off a handheld 22 Derringer, or when a pitcher breaks a guy's baseball bat was the only two sounds that I could even get close to it when that forearm busted on that guy.
Yeah, the snapping is just terrible noise. Like, yeah, yeah. Oh man. Oh, Crumry. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Comrie. Yep. Injury at the Bengals Super Bowl, not the recent one. His leg wobbling like a fishtail. Yeah, 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 yeah. Ugh. Well, yeah, that's what it was. Is this guy was an extremely fast sidearm pitcher, is what it was, and he had all that torque. And when it came around, it went like this, and it snapped right here.
Oh
You literally heard it snap. You watched the ball just fall to the ground and roll, and his arms doing this.
God, I
But
can't
his
imagine.
upper
That's
arm was
just
still. It wasn't him shaking his arm to make it look like it was broke. I mean, literally, this arm's still, and the bottom one's just going. "Ugh."
or when the whole arm goes limp. Oh,
You know what it reminded me of? Anybody remember Laughing with Tim Conway and the other guy, and he did the dentist routine where he was getting ready to numb the guy's mouth, and he stabbed the Novocaine in his arm, and his arm
think
went
so.
limp. That's what it reminds me.
Kentakovi.
Jacoby was awesome for a while, like Quisenberry, but it's gone. It's gone for side armors. Yeah, this Eckersley was not human. No, that guy was a machine. One hell of a closer. Well, didn't he start out as a starter and became a closer for the A's, if I remember right?
Yep.
After
Just like how. Just like how Mariano Rivera started as a starter and became a closer.
Yeah, but Mariano Rivera was never a good starter. Dennis Eckersley started out as a decent starter, but lost his stamina, so they started bringing him in the 8th and ninth innings to close out games. All
Yep.
you gotta do is get 6 out.
Yep. Exactly. Exactly.
So, yeah, I'm excited to see what I see there when I'm at training camp. I can't wait to be there with Trace and them. It's going to be a blast.
Oh yeah.
And yes, and now that everything's in 4K, slow motion really makes these injuries even look worse. And it makes some of these hits look more some of the hits that are considered questionable look worse in slow-mo now.
Oh yeah.
Like anytime a guy goes low, look, he intentionally was trying to hit him in the knee.
Yep.
Look, I can freeze frame it right here. See, this is when he impacted him, not showing the 2 seconds before that when he hit him in the thigh and slid down and then hit his knee.
Yep.
Kirby Joseph ahead of the schedule with the new wrap and roll or hip drop tackle rules, as they call it. I call it drop and roll because that's more of what it is. They hit them and they roll across them. A hip drop is because somebody got past you and you're trying to pull them down, and you drop your hips to pull them back onto you, risking yourself for injury.
Yep.
I watched some old school football and jaw drop. I've been conditioned. Yeah, I know. I know. I kept telling you football was a much tougher sport just 8 years ago. I think
Yep.
2016-17 season. Isn't that right? Was that the last time we had real Pro Bowl hits and all that?
Yep.
It seems so long ago, but it wasn't long ago that Zach Follett had the hit of the year on Julian Edelman for special teams.
Yep.
Some of these hits were unnecessary.
Do you remember when Antonio Brown kicked the punter accidentally or hurdled him and it went?
I still say Ndamukong Suh wasn't really trying to hurt Aaron Rodgers. He was walking backwards. He couldn't see behind him. What?
Who was the one he slammed? Was that Jake Delhomme?
In my old video,
Yeah.
that was David Craig.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Didn't he just go like? "Ah."
It looked like he power bombed him or suplex.
It's crazy because I watched Clemson because Ben Boulware a few years ago literally picked up a guy. We were playing a really small D1 school and just went like that. The ref threw the flag and said unsportsmanlike conduct. I'm like, dude, you literally grabbed him there, held him for a second, like, "Pah."
Yes, I remember that most bizarre sports injury was a bird, not a human. Randy Johnson fastball exploded it. Yeah, the feathers just
Just
flew
exploded.
everywhere.
Yeah, I remember that too. Bird exploded.
I remember seeing the bird, but I don't remember seeing the ball after that. I don't think the cameraman took a picture of it on purpose because I don't think
No.
they wanted to see all the little blood and hunks of feathers off of it. I was screaming Calvin Johnson rule all game. And let's talk about that particular
Ooh.
rule in that particular year. The Calvin Johnson rule didn't complete the process. There was a game that the Packers clinched the division versus the Vikings in Green Bay, and it was snowing. And Randall Cobb caught a touchdown pass, laid down on the ground, made snow angels, and never brought the ball up with him. It was a diving catch. So, according to the rule, he didn't complete the process. They never should have won that game. Minnesota should have won. And then there'd have been 3 teams
J-
Oh yes. Oh God, that was bad. The javelin.
Jeremy, oh, was it that year where Des Bryant caught the ball in the NFC Championship and he put it down?
No, 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 no. It was worse. He hit the ground and the ball popped out. The
Oh,
can't cause a fumble, but at the same time they said it wasn't a catch and ruled it an incomplete pass because by letter of the rule, the tip of the football touched the plane of the goal line.
mhm.
So it should have been a touchdown, and Dallas got screwed. About time.
It
All
was
like
NFC Championship, wasn't it?
a week before,
Oh,
and I
divisional.
said it. Orlando Escobar always catch with your hands away from the body. Yes.
Yep.
What an amazing week. It's been a lot of fun. I am tired.
I
We
am
are
too.
doing an hour show tonight. I have a show to do in the morning with Ralph Williams Media. Make sure you go subscribe to his channel. It's a good show. My publisher Scott Morganroth is on there. I believe Leo Haggerty is supposed to be on there, and whoever else Ralph invites. At
Yep.
least it's been pretty consistent. I'll take it. But it has been such a good week. And just remember, once again, I
Amen.
don't always watch teams that suck, but when I do, I watch the Packers. We may have to change that one to the Bears now that they got Caleb.
Yeah. Maybe all other NFC North teams besides the Lions.
Wow. 469 subscribers, 31 away from 500.
James.
I'm hitting the farmer's market in the AM. Bananas are God for studying. Yes, they are. Yes,
God.
it's coming, Orlando. We know. I'm trying to drag it out to do it, so I do it at the right amount of time for the show. It's almost FTP. They all know. You guys are great.
Ding, ding, ding.
I love my fans. You know what they are?
Awesome!
That sounds like you, kind of.
If Caleb fails, do Bears fans go insane or just enter rehab?
Both.
So, if you had to pick a sports bum of the week, and you got these three to choose from: the girl that sang the anthem at the home run derby, the American League All-Star jerseys themselves, or this this happened on the same night that we saw those god awful jerseys. The number 2 pick overall, Saucer, going 0 for 15, 0 for 3 from 3-point, and 0 for 2 from the charity stripe.
Oh,
As much as
I
I hate
would.
to say it, he's the number 2 pick overall. Even Bronny James hasn't been that bad yet.
Yep. I would still go to the national anthem one. That was just horrific.
Well, the only reason why I'm thinking about not making her the bum is because she literally went back and watched the video in the morning while she was hungover because she was drunk when she sang the national anthem. And she admitted she has a drinking problem and she checked herself into rehab.
Which is good. People, that's good.
Drunk anthem girl, at least she's young enough to get it right though. Yeah, I don't know. The second pick overall, that tells you how bad this draft was. Think about
Oh,
that,
it's
guys.
horrible. It's
In the
horrible.
G League, when you're facing all rookies and has-beens, you went
Yeah.
0
I
for
think
15 from the field, 0 for
he
3
played horrible last night too.
and 0 for 2 from the charity stripe. You put up 0%. ESPN felt bad and it tried not to show the shots missed chart, and it still came up with his name on the like 8 of the 15 that he missed. He said, no, I guess the guy that does all the the removal of those clicks, because it comes up automatically. Second pick, a close second. No pun intended. No, all puns intended here. We pun all the time. And it is that time. It's time for our favorite sponsor. And Roku or not, it's Buck the Packers.
Fuck the
You know why?
Packers.
Because we can. It's for the pride. And I don't care if you're a Bears fan or you're a Vikings fan. You love this sponsor. You need this sponsor.
Amen.
Especially the Bears. I mean, God, for the last 20 years, I think they've only won 2 games versus Chicago.
Yep.
It might be as much as 4. Don't quote me yet. But at the same
Right.
time, there's Brandon service right here at the corner of South Grand Traverse and West Atherton Road in wonderful Flint, Michigan, where you can buy good tires, but you can't drink the water because it's shit.
Exactly.
Used tires starting at $40. New tires, call and get your quote 810-233-8230. Talk to George, Red, or myself. I want to say thank you to everybody who's been on this week. Mike Marsh couldn't make it. I don't know what happened, but we had Jordan Edelman. We had Mike Johnson, who's going to be back for the NFC North talk, North and East Power Hours on Sunday. I'm trying to get a Packers fan that can show up and have his equipment work. That didn't happen. Dan Leonard, of course, will be there as long as he's not dead yet. He works his ass off. I have no qualms with my co-hosts who work 13 to 15 hours a day to put
Yeah.
food on his table and keep his house for his family. He does have 5 kids, so he needs to work that much.
Yep. We love you, Dan.
Cameron Luke, Detroit Dom made a visit to the NFL Roundtable Talk this week. We hadn't seen him in forever. It was great. God, lots of big news came out this week, but none of it really Lions related. I tried. I hope I did all right for everybody. But let's look forward to next week. And I'll see you guys tomorrow morning with Ralph Williams Media. Packer fans don't do tech well except Grossi. He's the exception proving the rule. But try every day to be a better person than you were the day before. It's the only way to make the world a better place. It starts right here. Much love. Oh, look, he put out the iPhone hearts. Oh, look at that fireworks.
I love my iPhone effects. They're fun.
In your world of words of George Carlin, before I hit the outro video, no matter where you go, there you are. Have a great night, everybody. Enjoy your weekend.
Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.